How's it going, everyone? It's Abdallah here, bringing you guys another awesome Animal Crossing tips and tricks tutorial video. Today's one's a little bit different because I'm going to go over my predictions for the upcoming January update that is involved with Pave Festival and all of that fun stuff. It's going to be a great one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to detail a couple reasons of what you can expect and when to potentially expect it. Now, we don't have any information as of right now, so our hypothesis is going to be exactly this. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and thanks for subscribing for all of the latest and greatest Animal Crossing content. We've got tons happening on the channel, and one of the first things that I do want to show you guys is this video right over here, which is going to be where we go through the very first entry of Animal Crossing City Folk, where we mention Pave and Festivale. And we take it a step further by going into this one right over here, which is Animal Crossing New Leaf, where we showcase what Festivale is. So he's been in 2 different games prior to today. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoy this, and by all means, in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think is going to happen and when it's going to happen. All right, so for starters, we have to give you guys a little bit of background information, a little bit of context. We're going to have a little bit of Abdallahception over here. This is going to be telling you guys exactly who Pave is and what it's all about. The TLDR of watching those little videos is more along the lines of he's a character that shows up inside your plaza, and he's really obsessed with candy in the City Folk version. So what you have to do is you have to collect different types of candy, and then once you give him the candy, he'll give you 1 piece of furniture. Now, this game was really hard to do simply because he needed 3 types of a specific candy, and there were so many different kinds of specific candies. And in the game, you actually had to, in order to earn the candy, you had to legitimately gamble your items in order to earn it, which was crazy. So if you threw all your items on the ground and you only had bells in your pocket, you can go over to villagers and potentially play these mini games where you gamble 500 bells in order to potentially win. Some of the odds were really ridiculous, where you had to win rock, paper, scissors 3 times in a row, or you had to guess what the person is thinking as far as a shape goes. It was really rough, and honestly, if you watch this video, you can see just how angry I get at the gambling mechanics in the game. So that's exactly what goes on with that. And by the end of it, once you have all these types of candy, you go to Pave, he does a little dance, and then out of nowhere, you start getting some of his furniture items. So that's pretty cool. Now, in the next one, which is going to be years later, in Animal Crossing on Nintendo 3DS, it's going to be the exact same concept, but a little bit more dumbed down and a little bit easier to deal with. You don't have to deal with so many different odds, and instead of candy, it's going to be floating feathers in the air. So you can use your net just like you can in Animal Crossing New Horizons, where you can catch the sakura petals or the big snowflakes, or the maple leaves. Remember those? It was kind of like that, where you can infinitely grind those just by walking around and catching these feathers. So Pave actually wants 3 of a certain colored feather. And if you don't want to catch them, you can actually go over to your villagers and use your villagers in order to play some little gambling mini games where you can put up a feather in order to win a feather. So it was a little bit easier with odds. You didn't have to play rock, paper, scissors 3 times in a row. It's just kind of one and done. But still, there was a lot of gambling involved with it. So that's a little bit of the TLDR of what this event is. And then in Animal Crossing New Leaf, once you gave him the 3 feathers, he would do a little dance like he's doing right now. And then I'm reacting to it. And then he would give you another piece of the Pave furniture set. So pretty interesting. It was a good mechanic. It was a lot better and improved. But there's still a lot more room for improvement for it. Because in the year 2021, gambling in video games, especially Nintendo games, is not really going to fly. I mean, those of you guys that have played Pokemon before, the Game Center or the Game Corner, you can't play those slot machine games anymore. It's just not a thing. They took that out. So this is going to be the exact same thing. So just going through, playing some games, and we'll go from there. So now the question is, when is it going to happen, right? So when is this event going to happen? Now, Nintendo has teased late January for an update, and they showed a picture of Pave's face. Now, as much as I want it to be late January, I want to say that it's going to coincide with Mardi Gras, Ash Wednesday, and Carnival, because that's kind of what the entire thing is all about. Now, if you take a look over here, Carnival is pretty much like a week-long thing. It goes from February 12th through February 17th. I wouldn't be surprised if the developers made it like a 5-day long event where you can just run around and you can collect as many of the different feathers and then you can kind of work towards it versus the Turkey Day 1-day event where, you know, if you weren't there and you're a traditional player, you miss out on it. Or Toy Day, which was a 1-day event, right? I'm predicting that this is going to be a more than 1-day event just so that you can do it at your leisure, right? So that's kind of where I'm thinking it's going to land, February 12th through February 17th. Mardi Gras is going to be right over here in the 16th, Mardi Gras, without pronouncing the S at the end, for sure. And then, yeah, so that's kind of it. As you can see over here, the occurrence of the dates, according to Animal Crossing fandom.com, you'll be able to see all the different dates for Festivale that landed in the older games. Now, they were 1-day events, but I'm thinking that in New Horizons, you're going to have a little bit more time for it. So if you take a look over here, February 15th is going to be when that specific Festivale is going to happen in 2021, according to the older games. So I wouldn't be surprised if it landed somewhere in there. So yeah, then what happens about Valentine's Day? I mean, historically, Valentine's Day really isn't something super special in Animal Crossing. You might get some chocolates from your villagers in certain games, and maybe I'll explore that in another video. But I think the 15th is going to be right around when it is, and yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Other than that, you can see over here a feather headdress. As far as items that I'm predicting that we're going to get is going to be exactly these different like types and colorations of feather headdresses. Because if you take a look at the individual villagers in Animal Crossing on the older games, you can actually see them wearing their little headdresses. Exactly like Joey right over here. Joey's wearing like a green one. So I think it's going to be kind of like New Year's, where you're going to be able to turn in some feathers, and then maybe you'll be able to get like the green one, like the yellow one, the red one, the pink one, the blue one, like all the colors of the New Year's hats. I think it's going to be exactly that. So by the end of it, you'll be able to collect those, and that should be really, really fun. So yeah, like I'm really excited for the entire event. Like I'm really excited to find these feathers and see exactly what's going on. So over time, with me doing all these retrospective videos about playing the older games and kind of seeing how it's evolved into an easier way, my prediction is that yes, they're going to be floating feathers around just like the sakura petals, the maple leaves, all that stuff. Yes, 100%. Number 2, we're going to be able to get all those festive little feather hats, headdresses, sure. Number 3, will we get the Pave furniture set as we've seen in the previous games? I might say, yeah, that's also a prediction. We will get a Pave furniture set because you know what? We need more items. There's a little bit of a drought. Toy Day, yeah, sure. We had like 70 items that were like more than that. But yeah, I think we're going to get that. And I think that number 4, my last prediction, is going to be the fact that yes, in order to get more feathers, if you don't want to run around and try to like catch them in the air with a net, you can play with villagers, but there's not going to be a gambling aspect of potentially betting a feather and then losing your feather by the end of it. I think that your entire feather allotment will just be, hey, if you lose, then like the dialogue ends and then you're set and you have to move and talk to a different villager or go into a new area and then come back out and refresh the area. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I got. When is the update going to drop? That's a good question, man. It's all up to Nintendo. They say late February. So by the time you're watching this, it is one of the last weeks. No, sorry. They said late January. So by the time you're watching this, this is one of the last moments, the last weeks of January. So it can drop any moment. And the moment it does drop, I want you guys on board with it, okay? Because what we're going to be doing is right over here, discovering all the secrets of Festivale in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I want you guys here right now. It's going to be so much fun. So anyway, do that. You can actually click on this on my main channel page. You can click on set reminder and then we'll be there. I'll adjust the date whenever it's ready and it's going to be amazing. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And of course, shout outs to all the members on board that help support the channel every single day and every single month. You guys are awesome. Now, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear all of your predictions of what do you think is going to happen with the Festivale, with Pave, with all of that stuff? Is it going to be a one-day event? Is it going to span across a couple days? Are we going to get candy again, just like Jack in the Czar of Halloween, that whole like Halloween event? Or are we going to get feathers that float in the air? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But that's going to be it. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you guys are all subscribed for the latest and greatest Animal Crossing content, and we'll see you guys when the update drops. Take care.